We envisage a slowdown in the global economy to under 2% for this year, and that will probably cost in the order of $1 trillion compared with what people were forecasting back in September. The IMF, for example, was forecasting a growth rate for this year of around 2.7%. They have since downgraded their forecast, as have other leading international institutions, the OECD and others. In a kind of doomsday scenario where the world economy grows at only 0.5% this year, you're talking about a $2 trillion hit to the global economy. Governments need to spend at this point in time to prevent the kind of meltdown that could be even more damaging than the one that is likely to take place over the course of the year. This constant pattern of booms and busts. Will the Chinese government introduce significant expansionary measures in response to this crisis? Almost certainly it will. Yeah, it will certainly do that. Will the US government in an election year, which is where we are with the US government, also need to respond in a way other than simply cutting taxes and reducing interest rates? I suspect it will do. The European economy, which was performing extremely badly towards the end of 2019, is almost certain to go into recession over the coming months. The German economy is particularly fragile, but the Italian economy and other parts of the European periphery are also facing very serious stresses right now as a consequence of trends over the last days. In the Latin American region, which is also a vulnerable region, we're looking at an economy like Argentina that has been contracting as a consequence of its difficulties with servicing its debt. That's an economy that will again be struggling as a consequence of the knock-on effects of this crisis. But the other parts of the Latin American region will also be facing very serious difficulties. Heavily indebted developing countries, particularly commodity exporters, face a particular threat. The likelihood of a stronger dollar as investors seek safe havens for their money, and the almost certain reduction in commodity prices as the global economy slows down means that commodity exporters are particularly vulnerable. The collapse of oil prices has been a contributing factor to that growing sense of unease and panic, and so it's very difficult, obviously, to predict the course of markets. What they do suggest is a world that is extremely anxious. There's a degree of anxiety now that is well beyond the health scares, which are very serious and concerning, but the economic ramifications of this are obviously causing a major concern.